Hi everyone, this is Rajeshwar from ECEC section. My topic is potable water. Let us observe the introduction. What is potable water? Is something is potable, that means it's safe to drink. In developed countries, tap water is usually potable. Water quality. Parameters for drinking water quality typically fall under three categories: physical, chemical, microbiological. Physical and chemical parameters include heavy metals, trace organic compounds, total suspended solids, and turbidity. Microbiological parameters include coliform bacteria, E. coli, and specific pathogenic species of bacteria such as cholera causing Vibrio cholerae, viruses, and protozoan parasites. Chemical parameters tend to pose more of a chronic health risk through buildup of heavy metals, although some components like nitrates, and arsenic can have more immediate impact. Physical parameters affect the aesthetic and taste of drinking water and may complicate the removal of microbial pathogens. Originally, facial contamination was determined with the presence of coliform bacteria, a convenient marker for the class of harmful fecal pathogens. The presence of fecal coliforms like E. coli serves as an indication of contamination by sewage. Additional contaminants include pathogen oxides such as Cristosporidium, especially Giardia lamblia, Legionella, and viruses. Requirement of potable water. The amount of drinking water required is variable. It depends on physical activity, health, age, and environmental conditions. It is estimated that the average American drinks about 1 liter of water a day, with 95% drinking less than 3 liters per day. In those working in a hot climate, up to 16 liters a day may be required. Some health authorities have suggested that at least 8 glasses of water, each 240 ml, are required by an adult per day. The British Dialectic Association recommends 1.8 liters. However, various reviews of the evidence performed in 2002 and 2008 could not find any solid scientific evidence recommending 8 glasses of water per day. In the United States, the reference daily intake for total water intake is 3.7 liters per day for human males other than 18, and 2.7 liters per day for human females older than 18, which includes drinking water, water in beverages, and water contaminated in food. An individual's thirst provides a better guide for how much water they require rather than a specific fixed quantity. The drinking water contribution to mineral nutrients intake is also unnuclear. Inorganic minerals generally enter surface water and groundwater via storm water runoff or through the earth's crust. Treatment processes also lead to the presence of some minerals. Examples include calcium, zinc, manganese, potassium, phosphate, fluoride, and sodium. The biochemical metabolism of nutrients provides a significant proportion of the daily water requirements for some arthropods and desert animals, but provides only a small fraction of humans' necessary intake. There are a variety of trace elements present in virtually as all potable water, some of which play a role in metabolism. For example, sodium, potassium, and chloride are the common chemicals found in a small quantities in most waters, and these elements play a role in body metabolism. Other elements such as fluoride, while beneficial in low concentrations, can cause dental problems and other issues when present at high levels. Fluid balance is key. Profuse sweating and can increase the need for electrolyte replacement. Water intoxication, which results in hypotension, Hyponatremia, the process of consuming too much water too quickly, can be fatal. Direct and indirect pollution. Direct pollution. This is when the pollut this is when the polluting material is discharged directly to the body of water. Indirect pollution. Indirect water pollution is a polluting material finds its way indirectly into the body of water. An example of this is nitrogen pollution of detaches by the runoff from fertilized agriculture land. Direct and indirect air pollution effects on materials. Abstract. Damage caused to materials exposed in the atmosphere constitutes one of the most important direct effects of acidifying air pollutants. Symet- Systematic field and laboratory investigations performed in the recent decade in many countries have contributed to a considerable increase in the knowledge and on the mechanisms of the effects of pollutants on the quantification of the damage and one assessment of cost of damage. Besides the very important role of SO2 for several materials, also studies of the direct or synergetic effect of NO2 and O3 have contributed to the understanding of complex pollution effects. The effects of acid deposition on materials can be subdivided into following ways. Atmospheric corrosion, direct effect due to dry and wet deposition of pollutants, water and soil corrosion, indirect effect caused by acidification of soil and water. Atmospheric corrosion due to dry deposition in most regions is primarily a local problem, while the corrosion caused by wet deposition is mainly due to the long distance transport of pollutants. Corrosion in water and soil is mainly a regional problem where the long range transport plays a domination. Thank you.